this issue, and you're trying to get out of it, and now you're suggesting slightly mad theories, whereas the science to me is obvious. You've already given the best argument I've heard for why we separate the sexes.
Oh, Jesus. This can't be real life.
The future of sports does not distinguish sex. It distinguishes and sorts people by hormone ratios. I'm making this up, but imagine that if that were the case. That would be interesting. You get a hormone test, you're in this range, and then you compete against other people with the same range of hormones.
That's ridiculous.
So what's happening now is that Neil deGrasse Tyson, I believe his name is trying to justify not having gender-separated sports. Or basically, specifically, transgender athletes in women's sports. He's trying to make an argument that creates justification for that. And he's saying that let's do hormone-based testing. Basically, if your hormones are between these ranges, you're allowed to compete over here. If they're between these ranges, you're allowed to compete over here. This is a weird... I'm not even going to give my public opinion. I'm not going to give my opinion yet. I'm going to hear both sides out and see what they say. But without further ado, let's get it.
That's
Neil, that is ridiculous.
No, it's not. I'll tell you why it's not ridiculous.
You're going to give every single person in sport a hormone test.
Hold on. I used to wrestle. And wrestling, there are people who weigh, sorry, am I using pounds here, 125 pounds, right on up to 240 pounds. They don't wrestle each other. The entire sport separates people so that the contest is interesting.
Yeah.
And so the people of the same weight wrestle each other, and that is the contest.
But if Floyd Mayweather...
I don't know if that's how it will land.
Hang on, Neil. If Floyd Mayweather fought a woman boxer, a female woman boxer, who was the same weight division, he would annihilate her. That's why we don't let it happen. And in fact, in the Paris Olympics, the winner of one of the women's boxing competitions, one of the
Piers,
females who took her on...
About.
But my point is that I just think that, if you don't mind me saying, I say this respectfully because I love you, but it just seems to me like you've dug yourself into a slight hole on this issue, and you're trying to get out of it. And now you're suggesting slightly mad theories, whereas the science to me is obvious. You've already given the best argument I've heard for why we separate the sexes.
So it seems as oh Jesus, this can't be real life. It seems as though Neil deGrasse Tyson accidentally gave an argument on why there should be separation in sports, even though he was intending to do the exact opposite. Here's one thing I know about Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's like this big physicist or scientist of some sort, really intelligent guy. Like, he's wearing a tie that has space, a representation of space on it. He's extremely obsessed with astrophysics, it seems. But even he is a little delusional. He's trying to fight for a claim. He's trying to fight for a stance that he unironically just created an amazing argument against.
Hold on. You misquoted me in this very interview. What I said was the idea of creating categories within a sport, splitting them in the example I gave, which I just made it up, like hormone ratios, is not fundamentally weird compared to dividing wrestlers by weight.
No,
because
it is.
The only reason why you do this is to make an interesting contest.
No, Neil, you're wrong.
And so you said Floyd Mayweather fight. Hold on.
You're
wrong.
Said
Floyd Mayweather.
You're not allowing for the superior male biology when it comes to lung capacity, stamina, to body mass, to muscle mass, all those things. If you just take one criteria of hormones, you're not allowing all that. I'll give an example. Caitlyn Jenner, who obviously... Hang on. I'm going to finish my point. Let me finish my point. Caitlyn Jenner was an Olympic male decathlon gold medal winner. Caitlyn is a big golf fan. And when she started playing golf after she transitioned, she was allowed to play off the women's tees, which are 50 yards further than the men's tees. And she quickly realized that she was still smashing it 300 yards down, and obviously was then beating all the women that she played. So she now plays back off the male tees because her biology is that of a man. And I feel that was the most honest way to deal with it. I also feel that if you want to have a separate category, have a trans category. Or have trans women compete against men, which is their biology. Isn't that the scientific way to resolve this?
I don't have a solution. What I started this section of the conversation by saying that how you handle trans athletes is a frontier in sports that does not yet have a full solution. And so, and I made up an example, like maybe you could divide people by hormones. I don't know if that would work physiologically, but at the end of the day, we watch sporting events because they are competitively interesting.
No. You have a lot of answers. You're Neil deGrasse Tyson, a supposed scientific genius. But when it comes to this, you don't even have a segment of a solution, a piece of a solution. And the reason I have a problem with it is not because he doesn't have a solution. It's because, what's his name? Piers Morgan actually gave 3 solutions. He said there could, well, I think 2 solutions. There could be a separate category, and they can compete against their born gender. That's what he said. You didn't acknowledge what he said. You didn't acknowledge it. You just replied and said, I don't have a solution. You didn't say, maybe we can do those solutions. You keep talking about hormone testing. This is just unbelievable. This is unbelievable. He's not going to acknowledge the other solutions. He's going to bring up his hormone testing as if that's not going to cause other issues. This is just unbelievable. But let's continue.
And so something's going to have to get resolved there, and I don't have that solution.
I do.
I do.
And
I just tossed up hormones.
You have a trans category, or you have the trans women compete against biological men, which is what they are. And I completely respect trans rights.
That may be. That may be how it settles, but I don't know. But I'm telling you, it's a frontier without a current solution that everybody agrees to. That's all I'm telling you. And I started this by affirming, yes, men are faster and stronger than the average man is stronger and faster. Dude, world-class men are faster and stronger than world-class women. Obviously, there's huge overlap when you come down the rest of the distribution.
The truth is, if you had a gender-neutral Olympics, how many women, biological female women, would win gold medals if it was open to men and women? The answer is literally like they might win 1 or 2.
You know, I'm trying to stay above. You're creating this world that makes great clickbait.
No, I'm not. Honestly, I'm not. No. I honestly, I'm throwing back at you the thing you throw back at other people, which is science. I'm telling you that it's the scientific reality, unless you say otherwise, and I don't think you do, because you've already explained that men have a superior speed of power.
I'm not saying otherwise. I started this.
The science is clear to me. I
started this by saying it.
But the science is clear, isn't it?
And I'm saying the solution isn't clear, even if the science is. And so that's all. We can debate what could work. I think the world has to figure it out, and maybe they'll figure it out one day. And maybe it is hormone ratios. I don't know. But if it is hormone ratios and we don't compete sexes, we compete by hormones, that's a whole other interesting future of athletics. By the way, every Olympics, I pause and think to myself, which of these events can and should not be separated by sex? There are some already that are the case. And the equestrian. The equestrian does not separate men from women.
Equestrian and shooting, I think, also is another one where if they're sitting and shooting, there's no reason.
I didn't know. Yeah. So I just figured there's some that would be the case. And we can start there and just work our way up. So it's a frontier. People are thinking about it. Top people are thinking about it. And I'm not going to be the one who will have that solution.
Fair enough.
But at the end, I know when you're watching sports, you want to watch people who have equivalent talent compete. Otherwise, it's not interesting.
Well, you want it to be fair and equal. That's why when there was
advertisers know this.
Yeah, but it's when you have the doping scandal in, say, cycling, because people are using drugs to cheat, it gives them an advantage. It's just wrong because it removes the basic premise of sport that you and I would love, which is it has to be fair and equal. And the moment you lose that,
unless you just allowed everyone to dope, then it would be fair and equal again.
Well, yeah,
there's a lot of ways that can slice. Yeah.
You know what? In cycling, that's pretty much what happened. I think I interviewed a guy once when I was at CNN who had been like number 42 in the world in cycling, and it turned out he may have been the best cyclist in the world because the other 41 were all cheats. So it may well have been the case. Let's turn to something less contentious. Actually, it may not be because it's your new book.
But can I slip something in? I just want to slip something in, if I may.
Yeah.
There's something I wanted to say about Elon that I didn't, that I forgot to.
Yeah.
So forgive me if I can slip.
It seems as though the conversation is drifting into Elon Musk. I don't want to get into Elon Musk right now, but one thing about Neil deGrasse Tyson that I didn't appreciate in this video, because I don't really watch many videos of him, I honestly think this is the first time I've watched him for longer than 2 minutes in any type of reaction video in my life. So it's interesting to see his intelligence because he's obviously intelligent. One problem I have is that he's trying to complicate something that's just not complicated. He's trying to create a whole new type of sport, or he's implying there should be a whole new type of sport, whether or not he's going to do it. He explicitly said he's not going to do it, so I'm not going to credit him with that. That they should just make a whole new genre that completely removes gender, it removes this, it removes that. To me, I don't understand why he would suggest this or think that it's the right thing to do. It confused me a lot because I don't think it's a problem that we currently have in the country. But anyways, let me know what you all think in the comments below. Salafar Jojo, and I'll see you on the next one.